Hello everybody, welcome to Level 5. I'm of course your host Level 5, and today we're going to be talking about my in-cinema experience watching Hellboy the Crooked Man. So, as per usual, whenever I go to cinema, I like to make a video about it and kind of talk to you guys about it. So, when it comes to Hellboy the Crooked Man, I managed to go and get into the cinema for fairly cheap because I went with my buddy James, who I've mentioned several times, and James managed to get us a discount. We got average seats, of course. Now, quickly, I just want to mention the lead up to this film was diabolical. Went to McDonald's first to get some dinner, and let's just say the entire McDonald's was fucked. It was packed as all hell. Their milkshake and ice cream machines weren't working. Half of the burgers were unavailable. I'm vegetarian, so I'm okay, but literally half of the burgers were unavailable. Get into the cinema, we get our drinks, and James manages to drop his before we walk into the cinema, spilling Coke and ice just everywhere. It was quite the hell. Literally hell. So, let's talk about Hellboy the Crooked Man. Now, honestly, I really enjoyed this film. It's a real shame there wasn't enough marketing for this, not enough publicity for this film, because it is actually really well done. Now, going into this movie, me and James both agreed that it will be a horror movie or a thriller movie featuring Hellboy, and that's exactly what this is. Realistically, you could take Hellboy out of it. Would everything happen the same? No, but the same things could still happen without Hellboy being there. Just maybe not some of the fight scenes and like the absolute ending. It is a lot of fun though. It is dark. It is gruesome. Is there lots of blood and gore? No, but it is dark and twisted in your thriller, in your the horrors that are very dark and twisted, more like horrific and gruesome. It's kind of like that. There's a lot of dark scenes in the sense of more disgusting more than gruesome. I think disgusting is the word I'm looking for. There's definitely about 2 or 3 scenes where, as it's on screen, I'm thinking, This film wasn't really heavy on CGI either. Hellboy, you can tell that it's someone wearing a costume and with a lot of makeup. And so's the Crooked Man, which I really enjoyed. I think the Crooked Man and Hellboy both look fantastic in this film. There's actually a really good look of Hellboy. I wasn't sold on it at first, but watching the film, I understand where they're going with it. This film also takes place way back in the 1950s. So it does make a lot of things believable and stuff. There is a big, heavy religion, esque to it. Crooked Man literally can't, step into churches and things, so that does play a lot of big factor in this film. But honestly, there is some really good, that does add some very good scenes to it. Now, I don't ever spoil anything major when it comes to these movie talks when I talk about in cinema discussions, but there is just one particular thing I want to mention. There's a specific character that comes into the film. He is a pastor. I won't spoil anything, but he is by far one of the best characters I've seen on the cinema screen in a long time. He is wise, he's gentle, but he's fucking hilarious. He wasn't even trying to be funny. Nobody in the movie laughs at him. He's not a funny character. It's just the way the actor kind of portrays him. I laughed several times when this guy's on screen. Talking about the actors, I actually don't know anyone who is in this movie. Pardon me. There's not once I'm watching this film going, hey, I recognise you, which I really enjoyed. It made it very pleasant to watch. Yes, I do enjoy movies where I recognise actors, but when it comes to these sort of films, I like it to be a case of, hey, I don't know you. This film is very low budget. It's not a massive production. It's nothing like Avengers or Justice League or Fast and Furious or anything like that. It is down to earth. Is very nitty gritty. It is. You can tell that it's low production. Like I said, there's barely really any CGI. There is a few scenes where I'm actually generally confused if it was string work or CGI, because the CGI is that low. Like, I couldn't tell which one was which I guess is a good thing. It being set in the 1950s is a really pleasant era as well. Technology isn't used, so there isn't any fail safes here. Obviously, Hellboy does have his revolver, which, by the way they do the revolver is really cool. Every time he pulls the trigger, it's loud, it's explosive in, like, atmosphere and tone and just visually. It's really pleasing to see Hellboy, like, actually fight and stuff. This makes Hellboy very grounded. And the really cool thing is, as well, after the cinema and, we went home, James actually looked up the comic book that this is based on. The comic book front image is literally in the movie. Not exactly, like, image by image, but I'm saying what's on the front cover is literally the movie, which is really cool. I'm really interested to read the book now. Honestly, this is a great film. And one of my favourite things is it gets on straight away. I think there's about 60 seconds of dialogue before things just go completely haywire. And what happens in the very first scene actually pays off later down the film, which is kind of cool too. There's people dying, there's magic, there's the Crooked Man, and there's things that aren't explained. People can do things, or things happen. There's no explanation, which honestly is actually very, very pleasant. I quite enjoy that. I like the fact that there is no explanation to half this stuff. Yes, there is some explanation. We get a little bit of backstory for Hellboy. There's a bit of kind of like explanation, exploration for the Crooked Man, but that's about it. There's a few bits of dialogue which kind of explain certain characters, but they're kind of needed in a sense, kind of why these characters are put here and why they're doing what they're doing, but enough to keep the scene going on, if that makes sense. The only major issue I have with this film, and it's just my personal preference, people may enjoy this, there's a few scenes where the camera is right at someone's face. Like, literally, let's say this is the camera, it's like right here. Sometimes it shakes, sometimes it's wavy, sometimes it's just in the person's face. It got very distracting for me. Other people may not find it distracting, some people may be alright with it, but personally I found it kind of distracting. There are a lot of payoffs in this film. Things that happen, people and plots do all pay off. And my favourite payoff is for one of the bad guys, yeah. The Crooked Man does have a few followers. One of the bad guys' payoffs right at the end is absolutely hilarious. I fucking love it. And if you didn't really pay attention to one very tiny specific scene earlier in the film, you'd be confused on how that happened. But if you pay attention, you can see why it works, and it is kind of funny. Honestly, I'd be very happy if this is Hellboy from now on. If we get dark, gritty, low-budget Hellboy movies, put him in a thriller-esque, gory, when there's blood, dark, low-budget movies, put him in different time periods. Like I said, this is 1950s. Put us in a film in the 1960s next time. Stuff like this. He does work for I can never remember the name, but he does work for the Supernatural Agency people. I always forget their name, but he does work for them, so, continue that. Give us other people for him to work with, and, it'd be great. I'm very happy with this film. Honestly, I was a bit meh about watching it at first. I was like, okay, they made another Hellboy film, it looks low budget. Why the fuck not? If James didn't get the tickets pretty cheap, I wouldn't have bothered. But because he did, I thought, yeah, why not? It gives me a chance for me and him to hang out. It's a 30-minute drive to the cinema, so that's a decent amount of time to natter and catch up and things. But yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this film. I'm getting the Blu-ray for it for sure. And I want to read the comic book now as well. So, honestly, it's better than the reboot they tried to do. Think of it this way. Do you remember the first two Hellboy films we got? Hellboy and then Hellboy the Golden Army or whatever it's called. They're superhero films. This film is a thriller slash horror. I'm not entirely sure which kind of aspect it falls under. But yeah, that's Hellboy, and I honestly really enjoyed it. Eventually, when the reviews come more apparent on the channel, I will be doing a review on this film. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on Hellboy the Crooked Man. Like I said, I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's amazingly done, but for what it's trying to be, it does a very good job. And I'm not really a fan of thriller and horrors, they kind of bore me, so this was actually a nice pleasant surprise. Definitely be happy if they continue the road of this for Hellboy. Let me know if you've seen it, let me know what your thoughts are on it. I think it's good. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Of course, we're uploading every Tuesday and Friday now, so that's awesome. And of course, Roar of Passion, I love you all, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.